Let's make up for some lost time here and talk about Brady House in his first few games because I don't know if people have really been able to pay that close of attention to solely on Brady House, but the kid's been good.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, I am your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as our show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, look up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, the video version over on YouTube. Again, just look up Locked On Nationals. And later on in today's program, we'll discuss Game 4 of this Rockies-Nationals series. The Nationals are trying to avoid the sweep against the Colorado Rockies, the worst team in baseball. They have come in and they have just dominated the Nationals over these past 3 games. So we'll have that discussion for you later on as Trevor Williams, it's his turn. Second segment, let's talk about the big picture because the Nationals, they have lost 11 straight games. We've talked about it the last 3 days about how everything has kind of been a little bit of a disaster at this point. So how worried are you about the Nats' future? Not just the immediate future, but just the 30,000-foot view of what you're looking at from top to bottom of this organization. How worried are you about this team and really about this rebuild right now? Is it in limbo? We'll answer that question later on in the show today. But Brady House, this kid is looking the part. And unfortunately, he has not been the bright light that we have needed at this point, but he has still been very impressive. So let's jump into that. But today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So as we get into Brady House and really just kind of discussing what this kid has done so far, he has been wildly impressive. Back-to-back multi-hit games, yesterday collecting his first MLB RBI, and you see why the Nationals are high on this kid. He has the ability, again, to be a plus defender, which I think he already is at the major league level, but he also has the ability to be a plus bat and plus power. He does have the ability to be an all-star caliber player for the Washington Nationals, and I think he can reach that ceiling. It's only been 3 games. You're not going to sit up here and say, this guy's going to be an all-star this year or next year. He's 22 years old. And by the way, he literally just turned 22 years old a few weeks ago. But as of right now, and just what we could see from just the own eyeball test, he looks the part. And going into all the different skills that we have talked about with Brady House over the years, we haven't necessarily been able to see the power at this point in time. But again, it's 3 games. There has been a lot of issues with this team at this point. And I think Davey Martinez actually deserves some credit here. One thing that I have knocked Davey for in the past is whether you call up Dylan Cruz or you call up James Wood or you have CJ Abrams, those 3 guys in particular, when they were first batting like 7th and 8th and 9th in the lineup, I wanted to rip my hair out. It never made sense to me why you have this young prospect on a team with some middling veterans and you are not playing these guys and not really putting them in a position to succeed each and every single day. That has always been my big knock on Davey Martinez. Well, he has kind of taken that out and taken it to the woodshed because he is batting Brady House 5th in this lineup, and this is exactly what you should be doing. And lo and behold, now you start to see that this makes sense. Brady House so far in his first few games, he's batting 364th and 826 OPS. Now, again, the numbers are the numbers. It's 3 games so far. It's 11 at-bats. No one's going to make that big of a deal of it at this point. But he looks the part. And I can't just say that enough. And with what Davey Martinez has done, we have covered the negative the last few days. If you want me to you know what, on Davey at this point, listen to the past 3 days. You'll get what you want here. But in this scenario, he's listening. He is finally putting one of his young players in the lineup in order for him to succeed. And we're starting to see some really good baseball from Brady House at this point. So when the Nationals do eventually have Dylan Cruz healthy, when you have James Wood killing the baseball, which he has always done, when you have CJ Abrams firing on all cylinders, and then you have Brady House and add him in that really rotation there, this offense is going to look a lot better. Positive. You might notice that. You might want me to be screaming right now from the Nationals 11-game losing skid. I'm not going to do that. It's been 3 straight days of it. Whatever at this point. But I can't help but be giddy about where Brady House is. And if you're a Nationals fan out there, it gives you a little bit of hope for the future. And we'll get more into the future later on in the show today. But I thought Brady House so far this year, he's been really good. Spraying the ball in multiple directions, not striking out. Again, Brady House has been ultra impressive so far this season. And I'm not thinking that this is just a one-off. This is someone who's only struck out 1 time through his first 3 games. We have talked about the high strikeout rate that he has had down in the minor leagues basically all the time because that's the player that he was down there. But now he has stolen a base. He's only struck out once. He has walked twice. He had his first major league RBI. I feel good about where Brady House is. And I feel good about where the Nationals are putting him in this lineup every single day. And lo and behold, when you drop someone in the middle of this lineup and give them some protection, look at what he does. Now, today he could go 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts against Chase Dollander, one of the Rockies' best prospects in years at this point. A lot of people, the Nationals thought would take 1-1 back early in the spring of 2023, but ultimately they got Dylan Cruz at number 2 overall. But I feel good about where Brady House is. And kudos to the Nats. They've done well with it so far. Let's see if Brady House can build off the momentum of really what's been building here in DC. But I do want to talk about just the game in general because the Nationals, yes, they did lose 3-1 again. And it's 11 straight games of losses. We have not been seeing wins here in nearly 2 weeks. Think about that for a second. 2 weeks. We have not seen a win. The Nationals are 30-44. The Rockies are 17-57 after winning their first 3 games here. They are now won 4 straight games this season. That's incredible. But I wanted to kind of just give credit to Mitchell Parker because Mitchell Parker, he has been kind of the Nationals' weak link as of recent. In yesterday's game, he did really well. He only had that 1 home run that he gave up. And, you know, I'll take that any day of the week. Mitchell Parker, he has kind of been on the hot seat for the Washington Nationals at this point in time. Over his last few starts, he has been rocked around and he has walked a ton of guys, and his ERA has now was up at a 4.84 before the start. Now it's back to a 4.59 after giving that home run early on in the game. But 6 innings pitched for Mitchell Parker, 6 hits given up, only that 1 earned run. And over his last 2 starts, he's given up 3 home runs because against Miami over the weekend, he got shellacked, to say the least. 6 earned runs in that start in Miami. Again, before that, looked really good against the Rangers. Before that, got hit around a little bit in Arizona. But Mitchell Parker, really good start because, listen, when the Nats are losing 11 straight games, you don't really want Mitchell Parker and Trevor Williams to be on the bump for the Nationals at that point. You don't want to see that. And for good reason, by the way. You want to see Mackenzie Gore. You want to see Jake Irvin. You want to see even Michael Soroka, who got hit around pretty well 2 nights ago. But with where the Nats are, Mitchell Parker delivered a really quality start. And also, this bullpen came in. And yeah, Jose Frere gave up a run. Brad Lord gave up a run. But I've been really impressed with what I've seen from Brad Lord as of late. So, yeah, the Nationals have lost 11 straight games. But there's 9 minutes of positive talk. You needed it. It's like taking your medicine a little bit. The Nats, there is really not much good to talk about outside of Brady House, outside of Mitchell Parker's good start yesterday. The walls are kind of starting to cave in. And I think a lot of people, the walls might be caving in on this rebuild for you. How do you feel about where the Nationals are and the direction that they are headed with this rebuild on a scale of 1 to 10? I'll get you my answer after we tell you about our friends over at Trade Coffee. And let's be real, coffee is not just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the things that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if that's essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? And that's where Trade Coffee comes in. And Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether a cold brew fan or a pour over purist, they've got a roast that you'll love. And I took Trade's quiz, and it only took me 1 minute. And the first bag they sent me was spot on. I love a rich, dark roast, and they sent me their French roast that has just been awesome so far. I literally have it right here. I drink it every single morning now, and it's curated exactly to what I like. A rich chocolate flavor, then of course that dark roast that really wakes you up in the morning. So right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, yes, I am your host, Ryan Clary. The Nationals, they have lost 11 straight games. And yeah, it's been a very tough go for it so far if you're a Nats fan out there. So if you're still sticking with it, if you're watching every single game, good for you, because these are the bad times. But if you stick with them, it's a good sign for your fandom. So from a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you with this overall rebuild? I think right now I'm at a 6, and it's not necessarily because of this losing streak that's going on right now. I think the Nationals have talent, but also the big time talent, it's kind of running out. The Nationals really don't have that many big time prospects outside of Brady House and Travis Sakura at this point. I think if you look at it, the Nationals really don't have their next big wave of talent coming in the door until 2027. That's when you'll have Luke Dickerson, Travis Sakura, you have Alex Clemmie, Caleb Lomavita, Seaver King, and guys of that nature here. Now, things could progress and things could kind of get moving, especially for someone like Travis Sakura. I could see Travis Sakura in the big leagues by sometime next year, but again, even if he does, that's not going to click overnight. He's not going to come in and just dominate major league hitting. That's just not going to be the case. He's still a young kid, and again, it's going to take some time. But with where I am right now, it's more so just a big picture of where the Nationals are. And it starts with ownership. For me to really buy into this team right now, I'm going to need ownership to be all in. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, what does all in look like? I think we all know what it looks like, and it's by spending money in free agency. The Nationals need to stop this. And really, in particular, the Lerner family, they need to open that checkbook yet again. The Nationals minor league talent and the prospects that have come up, like Mike Rizzo, I have knocked him in years past for the drafting and the developing. I think a lot of people should, by the way. I do think that is an issue within the Nats that still sits here today. But they have had better stretches here, like a Jake Irvin and a Mitchell Parker. Those are success stories. Those are later round draft picks who have then come into your rotation and have been quality major league arms at times. Like having a sub-5 ERA for Mitchell Parker, that's a success story. He was what, a 4th, 5th round pick? Jake Irvin was a 6th round pick. Jacob Young, like a 7th or 8th round pick out of college. Like these are success stories within the player development. While yes, guys like Elijah Green, they have swung and missed big time on him as he is down in rookie ball still. The Nationals, they got to start hitting on their first round pick, and that starts with Mike Rizzo. So yeah, I can spin 2 plates at once here. But my big hesitation with the Nationals right now is ownership. And that's why I think that like when people just say fire Davey Martinez and fire Mike Rizzo, yeah, like I do think maybe that might help. I could see a road for it. But the real root of the issue here starts at the top with ownership. And I don't know if you can fix that at this point. I don't know if the Nationals can really go into this offseason saying, we're going to go all in and we're going to spend some money in free agency. Because right now, let's say the Nationals did this offseason. Let's say they went out and signed Max Fried. The Nationals would be in a much better situation. Max Fried was one of the front runners to be the AL Cy Young winner. Obviously, no one really expected that kind of run this year for the Yankees, but still, that is where he is at. And if the Nationals went in thinking we could win in 2025, which is what they said all offseason, Mike Rizzo and David Martinez, they said, no more of this rebuild stuff. It's time to win. And the fans bought in. But have the owners bought in? That's the real question here. Davey Martinez and Mike Rizzo can buy in all they want. But if the owners do not have the budget to spend, then that's the real issue here. So as far as talent goes, and as far as where the Nationals are, I feel like I'm at like a 6 and how concerned I am. And I lean towards a 6 mainly because of ownership. But again, as we said, drafting and developing, that has not been the Nationals' best thing over the last few seasons. That has been an issue. But I also lean more towards ownership. And if the owners invested, and if they invested in free agents, if they invested in analytics, I'm not entirely sure what the Nationals analytics department looks like, but I know this. Over the years, they have not really invested all too much in analytics. Is that a Mike Rizzo issue? Is that an ownership issue? I think it's mainly an ownership issue, but also Mike Rizzo comes from a traditional scouting background, so we all kind of know where he might land on that topic. I think he's opened up to it at this point because the Nationals have gotten a little bit better with analytics. They have gotten guys like Danny Haas and Brad Ciolik into the building here, coming from analytical organizations with the Orioles, then as well as the Diamondbacks. So I do believe that the Nationals and Mike Rizzo, he has controlled what he can control. But where are the owners at with this? If they aren't spending in free agency and you want to be run like the Rays go all in on analytics. They get every single piece of technology in order to have their GM develop these top prospects that they put out each and every single year. Are the Nationals and Mark Lerner doing that at this point? I could not tell you. I simply could not tell you. That's something I think a lot of people probably sit there and wonder a lot about. But as far as the prospects that could help us out now, there's really Cade Cavalli and Tyler Stewart. And like Trey Lipscomb, if you want to throw him in that category. The Nationals need help. And they need help developing prospects. They need help developing and signing guys through free agency because right now the job is not getting done. And yeah, if you're sitting here today saying, I'm a little concerned about the big picture of this rebuild, that makes total sense to me. Because you cannot go into a baseball season without spending big-time money on free agents and expect to win. Think about the World Series champions throughout the years. Think back to the 2019 Nats, top 10 payroll. The 2021 Braves, top 10 payroll. 2022 Astros, top 10 payroll. Dodgers, everyone spends. You have to spend in order to win in today's game. Yeah, you can have a freak run, but look what the Rangers did in 2023 even. The Texas Rangers, they went in the offseason prior to that, and all of a sudden they won a World Series. They're not looking too great right now, but still, they've won a World Series from it. I bet you they don't regret it. And I bet you the Nationals and their fans, you don't regret 2019 for what you did. And the Nationals, again, having a top 10 payroll, spending big on guys, going in and getting that top free agent with Patrick Corbin, who helped us win a World Series. You have to be able to spend in free agency. And the Nationals and this ownership, you got to be able to free up the checkbook in order to help this team get over the hump. And if you can't afford it, it's time to sell. Simple as that. So if Nats fans, if you're feeling around a 6 out of 10 right now, level of concern for where the Nats are, I think that's very fair. I think it's fair. And again, I'm not trying to get too recent with the Nats losses, 11 straight losses again, but trying to ignore that for now. The walls are caving in on the Nationals and this fan base, and people are upset and you should be. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Next, let's get into a Nats Game 4 previews. You've got Trevor Williams going up against former top 5 pick Chase Dollander for the Colorado Rockies. We'll have that discussion for you after we tell you about our friends at Gametime. And have you ever decided at the last minute to head to a ball game with friends or family? Maybe it's game day and you suddenly realize you want to be in the stands, and that's exactly where Gametime comes in. It's the easiest way to grab last minute tickets without the stress. And with the money you save on tickets, you can splurge on food, drinks, merch, or even invite a bigger group to come with you. Gametime is what makes it possible, and Gametime makes buying tickets fast and simple. Prices on the app actually drop closer you get to the first pitch. Like today, for instance, I'm really going to the Nats game. I'm not going to walk there, but I'm going to be walking up to the game. I'm going to open up Gametime, and just a few clicks away, I'll be able to buy my tickets for that game. I'll be able to see my view from my seats on my phone before, just to make sure there's no obstruction with any foul poles or anything of that nature there. And of course, there are always exclusive zone deals for maybe a FIFA World Cup match coming down the road, and also Major League Baseball games. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime and download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. So as the Nationals have lost 11 straight games, things are getting a little dicey here. Will they make it a 12th straight loss at this point? Because let's be honest, it's almost getting funny at this point. Like, it sucks watching this team lose. It hasn't been this bad in a really long time. They have tied their franchise record for most losses, and today they could set that franchise record with 12 straight losses. I don't expect the Nationals to get this bad. Like, I'm out of words at this point. You cannot go into the season expecting that situation. But fortunately enough for the Nationals, you're going up against a young pitcher here, going on very hot weather outside. The ball is going to be flying at Nats Park. It's a day game, which I feel like the Nationals actually do pretty well with day games. But Chase Dollander on the season, 15 and 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.54 whip. But again, similar to the last few nights here, the Rockies have the worst starting pitching staff in all of baseball, and the Nationals simply have not been able to take advantage of it. Last night, they only scored 1 run. The night prior to that, yes, they did score 6, but even then, we all know it was kind of a make-believe 6 runs there in that game because they rallied in the 9th inning after being down 10-1. You've given up a ton of home runs this series against the Rockies. When will it be the Nationals' turn? Because at this point, the Nationals, they just need to go in, have a clean game, and ultimately take advantage of the worst team in all of baseball. Can the Nationals do that today? I guess we'll just have to find out. But right now, where the Nationals are, why not see? Why not see and go out there, see Brady House, have some fun. But it's hard to have fun when the Nats are losing 11 straight games, I guess. So I do feel for you guys in that scenario. Thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen. Enjoy the Nats today. Let's not make it 12 straight losses. I'll catch you on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.